meaningful topic. But today's topic is especially exciting because we're about to explore one of the most important foundation of every relationship, communication. Our topic two is entitled Let's Talk About It. Let's watch this short video.
Beyond I Do's 10-part talk series, Talk 2 will be about Let's Talk About It.
Communication has the power to build bridges, heal wounds, and strengthen trust, and deepen intimacy between husband and wife. The reality is, we'll never run out of things to talk about. There will always be decisions to make, challenges to face, and dreams to pursue. And of course, feelings to express. Unfortunately, some couples communicate only to win an argument rather than understand one another. So sometimes harsh words are spoken just to prove who gets the last word. But in marriage, the goal is not to win against each other. It's to win together.
Yes, and that's so true. Communication is one of the essential lifelines of any relationship. So imagine a home where husband and wife no longer talk, no longer listen, and no longer share what's in their hearts. It may not always be loud or chaotic. Sometimes the most dangerous conflict is silence. So over time, poor communication can create distance, misunderstandings, and emotional walls between the spouses. And for me, that's never God's design for a marriage. God created marriage to be a relationship where two continually grow in understanding, connection, and love through honest and meaningful conversations. So right now, let's welcome our speakers for this afternoon.
So to help us gain a deeper understanding of today's topic and discover practical ways to communicate better with our spouses, we are blessed to have a wonderful couple with us. They have been married for 7 years and are proud parents of 2 beautiful children. When asked about their ultimate dream destination, they shared Assisi, Italy. Assisi holds a special place in their hearts because it was one of the most memorable trips they have ever taken. Made even more meaningful as a wedding gift from a dear friend. What touched them most was the life and example of Saint Francis of Assisi, who chose simplicity, humility, and complete trust in God over worldly wealth. His legacy continues to inspire millions of pilgrims and visitors from around the world, reminding us that a life surrendered to God can leave an impact far beyond our imagination.
Their terms of endearment are beautifully simple: dad and mom. A daily reminder that while they are husband and wife, they are also partners in raising and nurturing their family. When asked about the values that strengthen their marriage, they shared something truly inspiring. Our family is our first ministry and our most important calling. They believe that the greatest gift they can give to one another is not a material possession, but their time, presence, and undivided attention. They intentionally create opportunities to be together, build memories, celebrate milestones, and remain actively involved in each other's lives. Because they understand that strong families are not built merely during extraordinary moments, but through the countless ordinary moments spent together. Their desire is that when their children look back someday, they will remember not what their parents gave them, but their parents were there, present, available, and fully engaged.
Friends, If communication is the language of love, then today's speaker have much wisdom to share. Please join us in giving a warm, beyond ideal welcome, Ryan Benson and Michelle Tan.
Hi, good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Happy to see familiar faces here. Na-shock mo. Yeah. So before we start our talk, allow me to begin it with a story. So for those, especially the participants here, we were not here last weekend. So just to give you a little glimpse of who we are, so I'm a Boholana. We came from Bohol, and Ryan is out, or is a Cebuano. So during our courtship stage, Ryan would travel to Bohol every month to give me a visit. So he would stay there 3 to 4 days. Niya mag-book na siya hotel din. Gusto good siya to stay there just to be with me and get to know my family. And yeah, magpulat na siya sa among living room. Inipabot na sa yung buntag wala dito, nagpulat na sa among living room. And my dad's room is just beside the living room. So when my dad would go out, the first thing he would see is, oh, right, dali ka dali. Oh, nagkalatong na siya. Until nga, sige, pinaka months na Ryan has been going to Bohol, my dad couldn't help but ask in one of our trips while we were in the car, he said, saan pili na si Ryan dito sa Bohol? So we answered him, namisita. Ano kinayahan gari? Oo. And then my stepmom said, ano ba dinig ba dapat ingana? Ah. Why did I say that? Because our topic today is about, let's talk about it, building deeper connections through intentional communication. And let me highlight the word, wala may clicker. Okay. Let me highlight the word, intentional. Intentional means you do it on purpose. It means you have a conscious decision of doing it. Deliberate effort. Not na if I have extra time or out of convenience or if I'm available, it's something that you do with much intent.
Why is intentional communication important? There are 3 things that we will talk about the importance of it. So it makes love grow. So do you agree? Marriage is supposed to be a blessing. Yes. Yes. There are dagan mga jokes that will circulate around where kanya buhay na libak-libak. But the correct thing is that marriage is supposed to be a blessing. So it is supposed to keep us in touch and support our life together as husband and wife. It means growing in our love for one another. When we talk about our personal and family life together, make decisions and plans for the future. Our sense of commitment and care for one another grows and deepens. So it also runs family life. So running a household requires coordination between husband and wife, exchange of accurate information, and honor. For example, what if man lang si husband na ay golf or basketball or pickleball tournament, but si wife na ay family reunion, hindi ba magkabangga na, uy, gano'n mali, gano'n naman. So if there's a clear communication, and there's clear scheduling of what is supposed to happen in the week, that will not happen. Most arguments of husband and wife evolve merely from not able to plan out the activities. Sitting down together at the beginning of the week and planning the week can help avoid these problems. So it can also solve the problems. Kaning saying kita na sweep under the rug ang problema. So unresolved issues and conflicts don't go away if we don't discuss them. It is a good time to set aside to talk about our problems rather than magpatungo or magparamdam. Sometimes, especially for husbands, this would mag-read between the lines if mamluhod ang wife. So, hindi talaga yung sa problema. May talaga yung problema. May talaga yung paagi. Something like that. So why do couples stop talking? Some of the reasons are nagging. So kanang balik-balik, kanang nai-accuse, kanang ikaw mabut, ingani. So we're with that kind of environment, we're a defense mechanism and you'd rather not talk or kanang you don't bring the issue up kay basin mag-away na pud. So anger. Very good. Like when we talk about some issues, sometimes like naging tendency nga more init na ulo. So was na one of the causes na defensible ko, dili na lang sa mo story about this problem kay kuan masapot na sad, mabuka na sa nanadlaw. Number 3 is distraction. We have this term in Michelle, if we get caught with our cell phones, we cover. Ano siya? Siya cover. So sige, public is being scroll because of phone.
Phone snubbing, that's the shortcut for phone snubbing. Fubber.
And we remind each other without kung nawag kami dito yung na we're deep into what we're looking sa news, sa social media. Fubber. Sige, and then tago na mo phone. Kaya we get reminded of each other na sige, we are here to talk, we are here to experience one another. We're not here to scroll with our phones. So namin yan sa big good during our weekly dates. And one of the another, accusing. Same example, like ikaw mabut, ingana. So there should be a different approach, and we will disclose more about that in further slides. Okay, so this is a very good line. When conversations become painful, silence becomes safer. So, kana para silent treatment, kana para kuan lang. You're supposed to resolve issues and communicate properly, pero because nara ka sa itong defense mechanism na mahadlok na lang ta na mustorya because mo arise sa conflict, there's a tendency na delete na lang sa tabok mustorya. And money, ang silence becomes a safer place.
So, we are advised as a couple to make communication a priority. How? What do we do? What do we do when something is a priority or is important? First is, we schedule it. Because once what we schedule, we get done. Right? Kaya bitong, gusto rin neta, sige, tanahon lang. Hindi namin tabo. Pero ngayon ganit, gusto rin neta, unsang adlaw, unsang orasan, hindi tabo yun na, di ba? What gets scheduled, gets done. What gets done, grows. That's why you have to schedule it. Second is, protect it. So, kung nag-schedule na mo nga, kaning adlaw mo ni siya ato ang couple dialogue. Kung nagani mo sa diyo, hey, pwede mag-meeting ani nga day? Sorry, I already have a schedule on that day. Lain na day. So we protect it. So we treat it like all the other important schedules that we have. Because just like our other meetings, our spouse is even more important than them. Diba ang kanang naman sequence, hierarchy of our priorities in life? Number 1 is God. Number 2 is our spouse. Number 3 is our children. Number 4 is our work. And so our spouse is very important and thus is worthy to be protected in terms of our time. And the third one is be consistent. Dili nang one time, big time lang. Gidate na tika ha. Sunod ana after 6 months na. No, so it has to be done consistently. Make it a habit to talk to one another. Here are more concrete 3-step communication process. First is set a regular time. So in the end of Brian and I, we do it after work. And we have a certain date. We have a certain day of the week that we're going to be doing couple dialogue. Second is find the right place. So there are couples who would want to do their couple dialogue just at home. So like sa balcony ba, or sa bedroom, or sa living room, it's just up to you. But for some couples like us who want to explore new cuisines, go to restaurants and all, you can also do that. But find the right place. Ayaw lang po ng banha kayo niya. Nag-storyanin mo, nagsigitanay no, kaya it's very noisy. So find a place where you both can talk properly and can hear each other well. And lastly, do it, we suggest. Do it. Can you read this? Weekly. Question, kaya ba ang weekly? Alam ko lang, nanimo. Kaya kaayo. Because in our end, Ryan and I, we do our weekly dates and we call our weekly dates Tuesdays. So we do ours every Tuesday after work with no children, no fobbing, no calling. Put down your phone and let's talk and eat good food. So we do it Tuesday. So when I say weekly, what are the three? First is set A, look for the right place and do it weekly.
So when and where to talk. Like what Michelle said, quiet and distraction free. So another thing ko din, nawala na pa yung ni Michelle, sometimes like if you date every weekly ba, doesn't have to be those mga expensive restaurants. Sometimes we go for mohyong. We buy mohyong, and dito rin sa Robinson's Galleria food court mga awal. So at least mahal, barato. Average lang naman ba? Kasi mahal per day. Ma-pressure sige si husband. So, both partners feel calm and safe. Mona, like what I said, si husband na, dili kayo, alam na mahal. Nasaka na pinag kung sa credit card, cut off. So, both partners feel calm. So, what I compare advantage, dili sa house sa wife, dili sa house husband, somewhere neutral, and somewhere like, wala po mga kids with or something like, kung nasa problema kung sa house kay, usually there are always some things that will come up na maputol ang discussion, dialogue ninyo. Like, based on experience, mga may tabo. Phone set aside or turned off, like what we said, we remind each other, like, oh, what, please stop flopping. And then, in fact, our kids will also, in Chinese pa, there's the word called kwa. Kwa is tanaw. So, wala, like, makabandin ako mga kids sa other people, the whole family, nag-cellphone. Wala mo kids, mommy, daddy, kuha sila o, yung anak ng mga bata. So, a regular spot, you can associate and connect. So, somewhere comfortable, somewhere space, like on our end, like we live in capital lang, so our usual go-to is a baseline. So, kung saan lang ng mga restaurants diyan sa baseline area, tuyok lang eh. So, hindi sa kayo may quarantine kasi tayo na kailan mo bumalik sa mga kids. So, kami na traffic problems. So, somewhere geographically near sa Mall, ideally. And then, things to avoid, either partner is tired or rushed. So, well, of course, we're not a weekly set day, but your partner is not feeling well. It's not forced, we can reschedule. So, in anger or frustration, so, like, wala pagalit nag-start na mag-sit down or gana na ka mo, buto, bitaw, ano. So, I think might as well more pahungaw ko sa and not schedule something or else more baka discourage ko ba weekly dates without kung ingani may tabo. Avoid also in public or in front of children. So, kung natin mga children in their experience, it's very difficult to talk when the children are around. Okay? Hindi sila pang-interrupt na mo. And then we will always remind them that mommy and daddy talk, pero hindi hapon. Sige hapon sila pagulit na mo. So, not in front of our children. So, right before bed, sometimes right before bed, what if intense kind of conversation ba dapat bedtime na relax din mo ang state of mind para good sleep without para refresh the next day. Pero kung na-emerge ng intense conversations, maybe di ka may utang or you cannot go to sleep properly. So, not before bed. what should couples talk about? Life and logistics, so schedules, upcoming events, plans, and appointments. Like mga doctor's appointments, kids amuhan doon sa bata, and we have this school presentation. We have to release ourselves from work because we need to attend the school presentation. So nothing gets missed out. Your inner world. So this is the inner world, is where safe space table where we talk about how you feel, like how you feel today. Dreams, relationships, concerns, and emotional needs.
Yeah, so in relation to that, one of the topics that is encouraged is to share your feelings. Okay, kanang nagino mo ni ka sa your concerns sa mga husbands. Tingala lang din ina mo kuning na ni ako mga wife. Sa niya kung sala, kunya magsige na o kasing di mga husband asa ka mo dapat nga nasayo ko nga wife kay grabe ang pressure. Hindi siya ka-gets nganong dili na ko yung dia. So we're encouraged to do couple dialogue. And we learned this one during our pre-Kina seminar. So we'd like to share this one. How do you talk about, especially when you feel bad with your partner na may issues? So this is the formula that we've learned. First is you started with I feel, then state the emotion. Next is when or what happened to the situation. Third is because, and the effect or impact on you. And the last is, and I would appreciate it if, what is your specific request? So for example, I feel lonely when you're always so busy because I miss being with you. I would appreciate it if you could spend quality time together, even just once a week. Actually, lisod timan-an ang formula. Pero ang ako lang yun nga per me gibutang sa akong mind, which is mo ni gi-emphasize during our pre-K na seminar is start it with I feel. Because ko ang start ng ng conversation is ikaw ba wala siya kay ayo. Naana bitaw kay label like ang person parang tapulan mo jud ka kaayo. Wala din mo maghuman og storya ana kay diso ko na imuhang kastorya. Why man nga mo start na kag I feel? Because feelings are neither right or wrong. So if you say, I feel so sad, ano sad mo ka? Mapuot di ay! Wala na itabutaan ko sa itong you feel, di ba? So wala sa'yo, kumigon tag I feel so disappointed with you because I keep telling you to clean the toilet, but you always do not flush it. O mamay, ana ba? So, nga mo take away nga lisod kayo ang formula, kanilang ang timagi. Start with I feel. Yes, kay para di masuko ang inyong kastorya. Okay, proceed that.
Home and family, we talk about finances, household needs, parenting, and shared responsibilities. So sometimes like with regards to like cell phone screen time, or Michelle will point out to me nga, tama ba, like, ayaw sa ganyan sa lahat ng screen time. I get reminded about that. About finances, like karon hapit na ang school year, so nanay tuition due, kay pump natin mayroon na po sa skulahan. And then last is faith and growth. So, isa sa ang learnings being with this community is that we start and end our meetings with a prayer. So, number one top priority is God, and then next is our spouses. So, weekly marriage check-in. So, after this talk, like we encourage you guys to spend time together, set aside like 60 to 90 minutes of uninterrupted time together. Review priorities, revisit shared goals, concerns, and anything weighing on either of you. Listen actively. So this is also a very nice topic we talk about listening actively, because sometimes like when the wife will share something, parang nagpapong have to give out any solution. Like, ikaw na sa paminaw, and then you just, you just have to lend your ears because sometimes wala ko ang solution or listen na ang solution. So, lang because ipakumaw na si wife, about listen actively. And then we end with a prayer after.
So before the last slide, I would like, if we started it with a story, I would like to end it with a story. So there was this couple who celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary. And during the party, a young couple approached them and asked, "What is the secret to a happy marriage for 50 long years?" And the elder husband said, pointing outside, so narrator sila sa balay ng ilang party, he pointed outside to a wooden bench. And he said, me and my wife, after dinner, we usually go out and sit in that bench, be talking about our careers, our kids, just anything under the sun. And then the young couple said, "So you mean after 50 years, you still go there and sit?" And he said, "Yes, we still do. But things have changed. Our topics have changed, are now different. Our hair is now gray. But our life is now more complicated. But we never stop meeting until today. Because we discovered, most people think that love makes us talk. But we discovered that it's actually talking that keeps us in love." Friends, sustaining our marriage is not one grand thing. It's actually in the most little, ordinary, but intentional connection with each other. The moment we start pursuing our spouse is the day our distance starts to happen. So do not be too busy with your schedule so as not to be able to spend time for the person whom you once couldn't help to talk to. Sus ka to maguyang patalo, ikaw na ka? Alright, tanang liho, o nagkaroon naging natag doon. Because at the end of the day, the quality of our marriage is tightly connected to the quality of our conversations. Thank you. The last slide.
Right, so that was a very nice talk about communication. So I guess our participants right now learned something. Actually, check for a relationship, it's a no-brainer to communicate. But the question is, karon ba, the state of your life, are you communicating well? Right? So thank you, Michelle and Ryan, for that talk.
Ito, how about us natin share?
Yeah, well, actually, for us, RJ, we've just been 4 years, 5 years married. So, didn't finish because during the time that we joined Beyond IT Season 3, normal, because we've been together for half of our lives already.
16 years
Yeah,
together.
so we've been 16 years this year, and sa mga natong storyahan, we've known each other for so long. Kumbaga, ang kina-RJ pa, buwan, hiling. Alam ko na. So, sa mga natong storyahan, and every day we keep on talking to each other since we're in the same business, same car and all, pero every day, there's something more to learn and discover, and most especially, mga important things that just what Michelle and Brian earlier made a diagram so that nandiyo kita kailangan istoryahan, no? And we want to thank you for sharing that this afternoon. Ikaw, RJ, sa may masuntin mo. So actually, for us, the RJ, communication is very important sa among relationship because previously, we didn't align our schedule. And with this topic, specific topic I want you also to put this into heart. Not just attend the seminar or we just had that paper. Actually, it's a conversation starter.
It's a guide.
It's a guide. So actually, RJ and I, dili kami used to answer ta ani and work.
Yes, because
One siya na
every
mga-
time siguro, during na siguro mo arise na kind of concerns about us, eh, istoryahan naman muna mo diretsyo. So, because we share the same work, so dungan kami permi, so kana mo unsa pa may kailangan istoryahan na istoryahan, but with this guy napalay daghan. So, kung ako siyang kalikod, napalay din mga laing nga topic nga need siya yung istoryahan. So, we make an agenda and then we talk about it.
Yeah. And one good thing about talking about it, we resolve the problems na dili mag-away, dili magtaasay og tingog, kung labaw sa tanan dili magluod. Kaya ako basta magluod ko di na ko mo. Oh, dito na nisulod ang silence. So,
Mas angry na ko dahil na kay wala pa sabot kay istoryahan ni, then wa pa sa iyang pinigay sa kaya ang malaki mo honestly yun kay basta wa ta sabot ko sa iyo. Lang man.
so may ko siya like, oh, wala siya ko sa butong si salanan ko.
So, hindi lagi ko sa
So, tingin ko ba, ako kay maputok na lang ko kay ganhan kay igawa sa akong utok mo. Di ko ganan mastorya kay para bad words na yun siya. So, di ko ganan masakitan siya. So, let's just, talk about it. Nara sa inyo mga paper inside your couples kit. So, this Saturday, we encourage you to use that as your conversation starter and, kamo na yun modala sa conversation and the difference. You will see the difference. Right?
Yeah, we encourage the husbands to make an agenda kung sa inyong diskutan, or at least you are guided with the topic or kung sa inyong istorya. So anyway, naaral na ng details handouts. So what makes the testimonies like Ryan and Michelle earlier is so powerful that they are not just sharing theories. They are sharing real-life experiences. The lessons they shared were learned through daily conversation, challenges, misunderstanding, forgiveness, and choosing each other again and again. Today, we are reminded that there will always be a need to communicate. So, from Ryan and Michelle sharing, we learned that first, communication supports our relationship. So communication is one of God's gift that allows husband and wife to grow in love and understanding. It is difficult to deepen a relationship if we rarely spend time together or talk meaningful conversation with one another. So love grows when hearts connect, and communication is often the bridge that makes the connection possible. And secondly, communication keeps the machinery of marriage running smoothly. Because marriage involves countless daily decisions, responsibilities, of course, our schedules, and our priorities. So good communication helps couples work as a team rather than as individuals, pulling in different directions. So when couples communicate well, they plan better, support each other better, and face life's demands together. And thirdly, communication provides a safe place to handle problems. Every marriage encounters challenges. The difference is not whether problems exist, but how they are addressed. So setting aside time to discuss concerns and allow husband and wife to seek understanding, offer grace, and find solution together instead of allowing issues to grow.
So, thank you, Helen, for that. One thing that stood out for me from their sharing is this. Communication should never be treated as an option. It should be a necessity and a priority. Healthy marriages don't happen by accident. They are built intentionally, one conversation at a time. So, how can we make communication a priority? Number one, we should first set the time. Don't leave it to later, someday, or mastorya na niya papuhon. Diba? So, ano sa ama ang puhon? Be intentional, as what Michelle and Ryan says. Instead of saying, we'll talk about it later, so just try saying, let's talk tonight after work, after butang na to ang mga bata sa bed. Let's have a tea together at 8 or 9 p.m. Are you okay with that? So mga ina mga specific jud kaayo ba. Next is second, find the right place. So don't just talk about it inside a grocery store. Kaya mga, alam mo, sa grocery cute. So find a place na just the two of you can focus on each other. Makastorya din mo, heart to heart. So the environment really matters. And third, of course, do it more often. So don't just set once a month. So dalawa na kayo makikabuk sa once a month, no? So at least in a week you have your time together. So dito siya na idea, no, that in a week you set a time for a date. So schedule a date. So
Choose
like,
dates.
yeah, just like Michelle and Ryan, they choose date.
Actually, as choose dates ko din, kay, even before with the family, choose date na may choose date na one day of sa business.
Sa business.
Choose
So,
date yun.
choose date kay murag chill siya para sa mo. So do whatever is convenient for you. For example, for the next 10 Saturdays, you choose Saturday. So after the session, you apply your learnings, you read the handouts, and just try it. And let's see, asa na siya nga kuan man sa taga. Unsa na siya nga mahimo sa inyong relationship. And of course, imagine, no, ninog kaayo nga you start napot yung mga conversation siguro nga best during daytime on weekends. Imagine sitting on a balcony, na may balcony sa inyong balay, timplahan mo imong husband coffee to set the mood, and then bugnaw kaayo ang panahon. So, yeah, I think that will be a good start for a good week for the following week to talk about it.
Okay, so one important reminder is the quality of your communication is often more important than quantity. So, sige.
So finally, communication works best when both husband and wife actively participate. So just the both of you, magstorya na yun mo ka nang wala yung mga distractions and all. Second is, it requires honesty, openness, and of course, my friends, humility. So, ano siya? I feel. So, ako mo I feel moment, no? And willingness to listen. So, dili kay, storya ko sa usapaw naman kay wrong ka, sakto ko. So, it requires listening. And not just to respond, but also to understand.
So, and perhaps that's why real life sharing like Michelle and Ryan did are so valuable. They remind us that strong marriages are not built by perfect couples. They are built by ordinary people who continually choose to communicate, forgive, listen, and love. And with that, kung na may mga questions, no? Kasi na yung mga gusto clarifications and questions, then we open the floor to everyone to ask questions. If not, okay.
We'll proceed to the next sharer. So, do we have questions for the topic this afternoon, communication? Yes, no, yes, no? Okay. So, if ever you have questions for the topic, we'll have Michelle try at the back, so you can actually approach them. And this moment in time, we'll continue our journey. And we will gonna call our next real life sharers and how they share us with communication with regards to the relationship.
So as we continue our today's journey today, we are blessed to hear from another inspiring couple who will share their experiences, lessons, and God's faithfulness throughout their marriage. So they have been married for 10 wonderful years and are proud parents of 2 children. When asked about their ultimate dream travel destination, their answer was both simple and beautiful. There is no specific place. Wherever we go, as long as we are traveling together as a family. And that's our ultimate destination. Isn't that wonderful reminder? Sometimes the best destination is not a place on the map, but the people we share the journey with. They call each other parts, love, or money and life. And when they ask about the traditions and values that help strengthen their marriage. They shared some simple but meaningful family practices, playing board games, watching movies together, and even enjoying a friendly game of pickleball. Yes, I love pickleball. Proof that building a strong marriage doesn't always require grand gestures. Sometimes it begins with simply showing up and having fun together and making time for one another. Their vision is to love deeply and grow closer to God each day. Their mission is to support one another and create a home that is a safe haven, a place of peace, acceptance, encouragement, and love. Friends, please help us welcome our sharers for today, Miguel and Maribel Valenzuela.
Come on, come on, Gibson.
But now my heart will go on ba?
When my wife is okay, because of only up there. When my wife talks in front, because she's introvert. So I request for you guys to give your 100% attention to my wife. So that's why I feel when because by the way, among David is Friday it's a prito mo with me. Prito ini kuat ano. Kulbaan niya siya sa sige siya yung sa ko may technique ito. Manghihir naman po. Alright, my name is Vince Valenzuela. I am a seafarer. Yung singer niya kanina siya sa PIR. So, itong mga wakapel sa yung tapos. Natin siya script. Yeah, why do couples stop talking? Dahil mga choices ito. Ang iya ay hungry, ay gutom ba niya, o waluto, natin siya. O folding, wala niya na, kaya iya ay folding ba niya. Folding is phone absorbing. Absorb is the phone. Or feeding. Karang mustik ka sa phone mo. Joke na to guys, dito din.
Hello, lovely couples. Hello, brothers and sisters. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone.
Buwan na akong kao, akong tutup paper, ako rin tutup yan nila. Ako rin tutup kao pa niya, isi. Ako rin tutup. Sorry na, Tato.
Okay, before we begin, I would like to give a huge shout out to our speakers today, the lovely couple, Sis Michelle and Bro Ryan. Thank you for inviting us to B&I 2 Season 2. Special thanks to Sis Michelle for patiently reaching out and convincing me to join, and thankfully I was able to convince me also. So through that invitation, God led us into this community, and for that we are truly grateful. Okay, honestly, when we were asked to share today, I wonder why we were chosen. But after reflecting on it, Mix and I realized that this topic is very personal to us because we are still a work in progress when it comes to communication. So let me give you a little background about our story. How many of you here have experienced a long distance relationship?
LDR.
So if you have, you probably know what, while reunions are exciting, spending more time together can also reveal differences and challenges. So Mix and I were in a long distance relationship. even before we got married. So for years, our relationships are on and off. So in 2015, we got married through civil, but our marriage remained long distance because of his work as a seafarer. So for 7 years, most of our communication happened through chat messages, sometimes video call, but it won't last long due to time differences and network coverage and even schedule. So our conversations were usually limited to simple questions like, how are you? How are the kids? How's work? And most of the time, my answer would simply be, okay, Rami, wala rin problema. And then we rarely talk about deeper issues. So when misunderstandings happen, we often show silence rather than communication. We kept our feelings to ourselves because we didn't want to add stress to each other's lives. Everything changed when Migs finally came home for good in 2022 due to accident. So we thought living together would be easy after being married for years. But honestly, that was when the real adjustment began. So maraming bagong married after so many years. And then one of the biggest struggles was finances. So when Mix was still working on board, we had enough for our family's needs. But when circumstances changed, financial difficulties became a source of tension between us. We thought of giving up and our lives would be, Mix, mo na siya, kuya na ni mo, oy! And I reply, ako sad, di ba pwede sad ko ni mo? No, imagine, grabe kayo. And then, napag-yun, may mga confrontation na nanumad ko pa man tao HCC, na wala raman dahil tayo hapoy nakuha. Mamuntang na. Ana. And then, kato nga time is, Miranda cried so much. And, ana siya nga, ano naman, mami, mag-continue na dito sa HCC, kaya ganahan my friends, and everything, the culture, ganahan kayo sila. So, I don't know, after all the issues, the problem was not only the lack of money. The real problem was that we didn't know how to talk about our fears, frustrations, and worries. We didn't have a chance to appreciate each other. Instead of discussing things calmly, we sometimes ended up arguing, and even fighting in front of our kids. I realized that because I had been managing everything on my own for many years, even in my single years, I had become used to being in control. I was making decisions my own and carrying burdens alone. And honestly, I didn't even know how to properly express what I was feeling. So there was even a time when I took the kids to Mabual with a friend and her daughter without informing me. So looking back, I realized I was exhausted and trying to escape from everything I was learning. But then I realized it was just temporary and we need to talk about it seriously and settle things. And Household of Christ community is one of these instruments. So through this community, God began opening our eyes and our hearts. One lesson that struck me deeply was learning to allow my husband to learn our family and learning to trust God's design for our marriage. Another blessing was the husband and wife dialogue. So during our first meeting, it was honestly very awkward. Imagine being married for years and struggling to find words to affirm each other. I was like, "Gusto ba na akong istorya nito? Uy."
Hindi mong guwapo.
And then, but on the second time, it became easier now. We started opening up, listening and sharing our thoughts and talk about things we cannot really discuss in front of the kids. I realized that when you open your heart and your spouse listens with understanding and compassion, intimacy grows. So it creates connection, healing, and unity. So just last week, inaanak sa wedding kay kung ano man dumi principal sponsor. So our inaanak sa wedding called me to share her frustrations about her marriage. Coincidentally, her husband is also a seafarer and And as I listened to her story, I couldn't help but see ourselves in them. I saw a couple struggling with communication, carrying burdens alone, and trying to survive marriage without intentionally placing God at the center. At that moment, I realized how much God has transformed our marriage. We are not perfect. We still have disagreements. We are still learning, but God is continually working in our lives, our marriage, and our family. So, brothers and sisters, if there is one thing we have learned, marriage does not grow simply because two people love each other. Marriage grows when two people choose to communicate, listen, understand, forgive, and place God at the center of our relationship. So our marriage is stronger when we finally talk about it with each other and with God.
So, for the guys, we know din niya kay better listener lang po karon. Since nag-start niya itong BIT Season 2, wala to kay Manay kong Mino. Siya sa minus sa Mino, pero siya friends siya. Alright, so, okay. So, ako na po, gamay lang. Wala, ilan tayo bilhin. So, magkano kayo exercise? Ito lang ang picture. By the way, naka-ano nga news kaning non-verbal nila na anak pa niya. Ipatiran sa naong sa therapist nila. Niya, kung wala nakita sa camera, so, di may bawal. No? So, non-verbal, meaning, there's no way na maka-communicate ang kid, sumbong siyang parents, kung nag-take advantage sa therapist. No? So not communicating or unable to communicate our feelings, no? Listen to kaya na siya. Dili lang sa mga non-verbal student, ako nasa ko'y waday ako ikaw, nasa siya anak na autistic na neck. Okay. So, muna akong cousin, niya, na siya anak na autistic niya. Ako gitry yung kanang doktor ko nung ngayon ko, sa ito kasi. So I put him in a room na wala gay things and then kung siya lang, dali siya may cross to any other things other than human beings. So hindi siya may interact with human beings. So I tried mga almost 1 week up in studio ko. So ako ang worry is how would he express his feelings and so dili lang sa mga autistic mga children muna, very important yung communication. No? But also to us na couple. No? So, kanina picture, this is the last picture I took before I went to the last present katong na-discuss siya ko. Communication challenges affect many of us even if you are not non-verbal. So, so kanina siya na picture, next slide, mag-discuss siya ako, monitor po. So, ilang percent? Almost 70% of my body nasunog. No? Kanya everything was very hard. No? Siguro except lang sa pag-apply sa PWD screening test. Okay, before din mo apply sa ID anak, tanaw mo yung lawas. No? So, kaya ko ito. Pag-upo niya, dali tayo kapasar. Wala dito iisip. Pero everything, ang recovery, lisod yun siya. Ay mga 30 degree. Ang ihatag sa ako sa PWD, ang kaso nito, orthopedic. Orthopedic, pag-search na po. Orthopedic area, bones and joints and muscles. Karoon, nagluwa-luwa ko, itulpul. Sorry, itulpul. Hindi sa ko kasi na akong doktor ba? Okay niya akong PWD. So, muna ako sa una, grabe niya sunog ko rin. Na ako hindi kaaptang, ikagaling ko ako sa putol mo yun. Next. O, muna siya nasusunod. Napili yung mga tawa. One of the worst days, pwede siya no? At the same time, best days, kaya may yan to, may trabaho. Next slide. Tulong buwan, sinig na. Next. Okay, nakakawa na siya. Iupaw na ko nila. Ikan sa long hair. Next. Pero, muna without my friends, family, kani ako aning sister, nung yung isuot ko sa top, na naay ka ng bukal ng tubig, kunya yung mga fruit typhoon ba, para matanggal ang mga excess skin. Next slide. Nalagyan ako, nakalimtan na slide. So, nato yung picture nila na nandito akong wife. Nagsulog siya sa mask siya. So, grabe kita niya ang panod na kanina classmate ni mga pare. Medyo okay ako. Iya kong ngayon ko niya prayers for me ba. Next daw, siya nasa next. Nakaroon ka tayo. Medyo kumupo sa helmet, kasi na niya ang doktor ko. Pero karon nagdama niya akong whiteboard kay ako i-share sa ako ang students ba. Kaya na may mga students na pamilya na. So, ang college karon is 19, 20, 21 years old. So, na sila yung mga anak na upad. So, ako i-explain sila yung mga yung present advice. Kunwari, mahiling ko. So, anyway, wala na ni Seiko di Buwes. Okay, ako na sa ito, basa rin. We spend countless hours. Communication is a vital part of every relationship. In fact, it is often our relationships begin. So, without relationship or communication, wala yung relationship. Kaya ito ang panguyap. Pero pag kita lang niya, upahan ko niya daran. Ngayon lang kami na ako'y bagagaw. Ito akong i-communicate. Ano kayo, yung ito is limit ang limit. Nabasa mo. Kaya kumari ako, interested in limit ang limit. So before our wives became our wives, they were our girlfriends. We spent countless hours at being talking, sharing stories, getting to know each other. Yeah. When face-to-face conversations were not enough, colleagues palay, patungkol dito, we continued talking late into the night over the phone. But after years of marriage, things can change. We become comfortable, routines take over. Sometimes we assume our spouses already knows what we're thinking. Sometimes we stop listening as carefully as we once did. Small misunderstandings can slowly grow into bigger problems. The reality is that simple miscommunication can lead to hurt feelings, disappointment, even heartbreak. So karon ako ang anak ng babae, si Miranda, si Richard Push, ani na i-talk ko na ako. Nagtutulog ako sa mga students. So, let me begin. So, muna siya yung heart theory tawag ni. So, ang marriage life, mas makita, no? Yes. Dili na rin. No? Ang marriage life. So, dili bata-bata, we're starting to learn more words, magkana po tawapan. Kita din sa atong girlfriend. Dili na rin. No? So, ato siya kita no, ito mga non-stop mga istorya, sweet-sweet. Kapag dali, maka-decide, mo muna pinaka-peak. Decide ang ninyo na. Kasi mo, siman na pastay, abdos usa. So, di pwede mo, alam mo sa kinabuhi mo, kaya na kita ang flow. No? So, ang flow, gamitin mo si tipon, pati na flow. Kaya mag-focus kasi focus. Reply na ninyo ang qualities ng relationship. Pero kaya hindi naman tingog, hindi mo lulukod na ito. Abot, dali mo ni pinaka-delikado na lugar. Ano man? Kaya basta, huwag mo kabaw kung saan pag-recover, mukrat na siya. Ikaw po na as laki, hindi ka kaganahan na broken heart or broken family. So, we need to patch things up. So, di ano, pag-solve mo sa PID, na-close na. Na-crack, na-straight siya. Na-straight niya, that is Jesus Christ. So, dito na. So, kapag paano mo na, kailangan kalimot man ta sa atong mga vows kana. So we did our vow pod sa balay na may video ano niya muto nagigilin ng istorya ang mga techniques na mo nakapon ni sis Michelle. Nakabuhol na siya at among anak pod buhulan pod kay dito man siya na anak. No, kaya nindot na among istorya nagkalami andiri sakit-sakit diri sakit sa lawa sakit tuhod kung mamatay. Right. So, muna siya ang heart theory guys. So, without Jesus Christ, ay isod kayo tanggalon ang cracks sa atong heart. Para siya guys. So, I can't even begin to imagine balik na sa ChatGPT. The sacrifices my wife has made for me. She stayed by my side after my barbecue accident on board. Pero ako ang baboy ito. Naluto mo ko. I was the part in that barbecue. She took care of me during the COVID years, enduring countless swab. Karasod niya sa hospital. Swab ba niya ilong. Katong taas kayo nga tunbad siya. Yeah. On the swab test and standing with me through some of the darkest days of my recovery. She was there when I was weak, frustrated, and struggling. Yet, despite everything she had done for me, I still managed to hurt her. Watch that. I still managed to hurt her when my pride and ego got in the way. There were times when I became so angry that I punched walls. Sakit din kayo. Kaya nakalimot ko na simintong nito tirin dapat kinaikaan. Punch the walls not because I would ever raise a hand against my wife. Di yun na ko siya kaya i-hurt. So ang goal na lang. But because I didn't know how to handle my emotions, I convinced myself that talking wouldn't solve anything. Looking back, nakarealize ko nga how wrong I was. I have such a wonderful wife, yet there were moments when we stood on the brink of heartbreak. Not because we lack love, but because we lack healthy communication. Sometimes, the greatest threat to our relationship is not the absence of love, but the absence of communication. So, ingon ni sis, kung talking to ang pinaka-importante para na po sa mga boys, listening. We listen to our wives, para mas kasabutan nila, kanya, kung mulis din magunta, mamino na sila. Alright. Hey guys, I hope that we learned Thank you everyone, and may God continue to bless all our marriages and families. Alright.
Alright. Suppose it's a tragic and sad story, pero sa bawat kong kita nayahila, nagkataon.
Ano lingaw tayo, bro? Yeah, actually, si bro means no, we got a chance to play pickleball. Ito, gusto kayo siya muhapak. Ikaw na ako niya bula ka na. Hindi siya makabro sa akin.
Again, thank you so much, Julie, Sis Maribel, for that heartfelt sharing, and enjoy dyan ang tanan. So, 10 years of marriage is a beautiful testimony that communication is not simply a skill, it's a daily choice. A choice to listen, a choice to understand, and a choice to remain connected, even when life gets busy and complicated. So, our story reminds us that strong marriages are not built by avoiding challenges, but by continually talking through them, praying through them, and growing through them together. Again, pwede ba tagana ito kasi